So guys, let's get to our weekly trading outlook. All right, where we do analysis and then see how price reacts during the week. Okay, if we say valid confirmation, we basically enter our trade. All right, no confirmation, no entry. So for those that are joining for the first time, let's do a review of my strategy. All right, my strategy is in two categories. We have the type A. All right, and the type A involves a sweep of liquidity, which is a sweep of transactional liquidity, all right, and then an immediate break of structure, and then price has to retrace, okay, and give us structural liquidity, and then a second break of structure. So price has to basically come in between here and then boom to the downside. So let's do this together. Sweep, all right, to give us our point A. And then we have an immediate break of structure like this, okay? And then price has to retrace and then give us B, which is structural liquidity. And then price has to break structure to the downside. So we have these as well. All right, that's our second break of structure. So here is our structural liquidity to be taken out. This is our point A. So our POI is in between A and B. So price has to come here and then boom to the downside. Now, for people that are not watching for the first time, for this strategy to be very valid, we have to do a top-down analysis. All right. So this has to first form on the higher time frame, either the 4 hours, 24 hours, the weekly time frame, or the monthly time frame. And then we navigate to the lower time frame and then get same structure. So we have price sweep, structural liquidity, tap our POI, and then proceeding to the take profit on the higher time frame. So we basically look for the same structure as well. All right. So a sweep, break of structure, retracement, and then boom. So we have this as our outlook, or basically our POI. All right. So this becomes the sweep, and then here becomes our POI. All right. First break of structure, second break of structure. So we're expecting price to, come here, all right, and then boom to the downside. So top-down analysis on the higher time frame like this, and then we look for our points of entry on the lower time frame, something like this. And we know we have the type B of my setup, right? So we have the type B as well. So for the type B, just a slight difference. We have a sweep like this, and then structural liquidity has to form first before the break of structure. So we have something like this, and then the break of structure. So we have our first break of structure as an inner break of structure before the full swing break of structure. All right, so we have our sweep of liquidity first, which is the first row, to give us point A, okay? And then we have structural liquidity forms first, break structure, and then break the other structure. So our point of interest is say the same thing. All right. Price has to, now come here and then start going to the downside. All right. So what's happening to this? So price has to come here and then start going to the downside. So like I explained in the type A, it's the same thing. We now have to look for same structure. It can be either the type A or the type B, any of them. All right. Both of them works perfectly. So we need not to fear. So we have a sweep of liquidity here, which is transactional liquidity, and then the break of structure, and then the break of structure, and then this is our structural liquidity, and then this. So we're expecting price to, come here as our outlook and then tap on it and then go to the downside. So this is basically the type B, all right? For the type B, structural liquidity has to form first before breaking the structure. Now, you can have a type A here as your top-down analysis on the higher time frame. I still have a type B here. It can work interchangeably, all right? Both of them work. So this is the type A, and then this is the type B. Okay, so now let's get to the chart, all right? Let's get to the chart. So I'm looking out for few synthetic pairs. All right, we have the V100. So let's do the V100. If you are conversant with my channel, you are supposed to know that I have done this top-down analysis countless of time. All right, but let's do it together again. So we have V100. And the first thing that we're supposed to do is what? Our top-down analysis. So let's get straight to that. So V100 is basically coming from a sell POI on the 24-hour time frame. So we're following the same rules. First, we have a sweep, all right? And then price broke structure to the downside. So this is our point A, all right? And then price gave us structural liquidity, which is our point B. Okay. And then price broke structure to the downside. All right. So in between A and B becomes our POI. All right. So price tapped on our POI, and then we have C as our target, which is here. So now we have a valid top-down analysis. And from what I explained earlier, we have to go to the 1 hour time frame, 30 minutes time frame, or the 15 minutes time frame to look for our POI. All right. Let's do the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour time frame, I have a setup that I'm looking out for. All right. So we had an inner sweep here. All right. And then we have a retracement here. Okay. This is our 50% retracement. So it gave an inner break of structure before finally breaking the full structure. All right. So this is the type B of our setup. So we are basically expecting price to, come here, give us a valid confirmation, and then we enter to the downside. All right. If you go to the lower time frame, the structure is very clear. So let's do that. So you can see that the structure is very clear. All right. So basically wait for price to, come here, and then we are up. So V100. So you guys should watch out for this. All right. Watch out for this. Watch out for this. Let me save this. Okay. So I have another pair, which is, should we do V25? Let's do V51X. I have another pair, which is V51X. So V51X is actually on a buy POI. All right. On a buy POI. And the starting point is somewhere here. So If you go to the lower time frame and check, price is coming from a POI that is here, and then the target is here. All right, so let's check for our entries. Easy peasy. All right, we have an entry here. We have an entry here, a sweep of liquidity now, a break of structure, which makes it a type A, and then structural liquidity, and then price book structure, basically. So we have this. So we have here as our points A, here as our points B, and then where price is coming from before tapping on our POI, will become our point C. So this becomes our POI. All right. So we are basically expecting price to, tap here, and then we look out for a valid confirmation, and then we basically enter. So look out for this as well. Look out for this. All right. V50 is one of the pairs that I trust very well. So look out for this. Look out for this. So we're basically expecting price to, come back here and then boom to the upside. All right. So we have V15 1X as well. All right. I'm basically just looking out for these three pairs. Probably during the week, if there's another setup, I might share it with you guys. All right. Or I will share it with you guys. All right. So V15 1X is actually selling. All right. We have a top-down analysis on the 24-hour time frame. Okay. So price is coming from here. All right. Price is coming from here and then headed here. Okay. So you know the drill. We have to go to the lower time frame now and get our entries. Okay. So we have something here. All right. We had a sweep here. Let me go to the 15 minutes time frame so that you guys can see it very well. So we had a sweep here. Let's go to 5 minutes. Okay. You can see that the structure is not clear. We had a sweep here, and then structural liquidity forms first. Price broke structure to the downside before eventually breaking the full structure. Okay, so we have our POI to be here. All right, so this becomes our point A. I'm a bit fast because I want this video to be very, very short. All right, so sweep of liquidity gave us point A, our structural liquidity B, all right, and then broke structure to the downside. So this is our BOS. Okay, so this is the type B of my setup. So we are basically waiting for price to get into our POI between A and B now, and then we're expecting price to go to the downside. But the thing with this trade is that I don't really trust this POI again. All right, so I'm not really, proud of this setup. Okay, but if we see a valid confirmation, we can still risk on it. All right, no risk, no reward. So we'll have to still look out for this pair. All right, well, to me, it's not basically an A+ setup. All right, so watch out for these pairs.